Welcome to the live stream. Want to talk about what's happening right now. This is the second live stream today on YouTube. And before I share the screen, I need to get some viewers happening. Let's do that first. So far, so good. So far, everything looks to be in place. But what could be possibly an alternative to the current count that I have placed before this video, before this stream? There is one, and one only. So welcome back. Leg neck kill. Leg neck nil. Sorry, it's been a long day. Good to see you. That's crazy. Yes, because it's a crazy day. In Melbourne, the weather's going off its head. We're about to end lockdown apparently tomorrow night. It's been raining, it's stormy, it's windy, it's crazy, the waves are volatile, everything's going off its head. Meanwhile, I happen to be in the comfort of my office where I can bring to you the latest RES wave interpretation of XLM. Because that's all it is. It's just an interpretation of XLM, right? Using RES wave. You've seen my videos up until now. You've seen what I do. I post regularly. I've been wrong before, but I tend to be right once I catch on to the exact count. So therefore, right now, we need to discuss what is actually going on, because the waves aren't looking impulsive, and there's a reason for that. All right. There's a couple of scenarios I want to talk about, and that's why we're here. Welcome, James. Hello from Canada. Well, hello from Melbourne. XLM going under 0.2. Well, I'm going to buy it at 27 cents. So if you mean 20 cents, fair enough. Please kindly discuss or tell me what kind of information led you to that assumption, and we'll take it from there. Hello, Corda. How you doing? Just another day at the office. Right. So I'm about to share my screen now so we can get right into it. I'm pretty sure that some will join when they need to. And if there's any background noise, we'll deal with that as it comes. Very interesting. Very interesting. Okay. So first of all, thank you for joining this live stream. I am happy to bring to you some more Actually, this is a second in-depth video for RS Wave today. The one was earlier, about 12 hours ago, and it's 10 p.m. here now. So before, I think I remember saying it's about 11 a.m. So still going strong, still been observing the waves and the patterns that have been going on. So hello, Pete. Do I really think XLM will drop under 30 cents? Yes, I do. If you have been watching my videos, then you will understand why. It's not a matter of opinion. It's a matter of understanding RS Wave, which is a methodology I created over 6 years, but it's been in testing probably more than that, because yeah, it's been a long journey, and we've gone from boring old Euros and Dow Jones and commodities to straight up cryptos, but mainly focusing on XLM because I want to keep everything consistent. I don't want to be all over the place with my analysis. I just want you to know what's going on a consistent basis so we can get some kind of track record happening. All right. So right now we're seeing some moves above what I called wave 2 before. So that's fine. So that means that wave 2 didn't end there. And to me, there's two possibilities. Right. And I'll get to those in just a second. If E wave ended here at 35 cents, then we cannot go above that. Okay. So at the moment, this entire move down could have been a wave 1. And what we're seeing now is simply an A pattern that can't go above the start of wave 1. But with E waves tend to be very weird. And I have an alternative to that, which I'll get to in a second. But first, I want to see who's online. Welcome, 9. XLM has been very tricky, yes, but lately I've been actually posting a lot of information about it that's made it less tricky. It's mainly this last move that's it's going to be tricky, and that's because it's the last move. Now, if this would have gone straight down from here, that's probably not a good sign, because that means that there's a lot more weakness than we thought. So if it would have gone just straight down like a hard wave 3, then yeah, things wouldn't be looking too rosy right now. And I wouldn't be saying 27 cents. I'd be saying more like some of these other guys are saying 10 cents or whatever, like 1 cent. I don't know what some of these people think, right? So to me, it's more about just using trend analysis. So we've seen the entire pattern unfold in A, B, C, D, E. All right. So there's A, B, C, D was, so there's the A, B, C for D. D wave ended, we had our bounce, and that's the current move we're in now. Right. So if we zoom into that, the current move, I suspect that ended wave 4 has already happened. So the only thing that could invalidate that view is one thing, which I will explain to you in just a moment, because the price action is still ongoing and I need to see a little bit more upside. If we get a rejection of this triangle, I'm just going to stick to the view that basically it's just part of the correction, and wave one did end down here rather than a little bit earlier, as I thought, according to the fib. So let's get rid of the fib, because that's a secondary tool. We don't use it as a main tool. No, I don't own XRP because XRP is going down. All right, I want to buy XRP when the time is right, but it's not right now. Should you sell your XLM and buy back under 30? Would that come? You should have done that. You should have done that maybe like around 40 cents or something. But right now, what's the difference between 34 cents and 27 cents? If that's a good idea for you, then go ahead. That is a pretty good amount, so you might make something. Yeah, so Coinbase says buy. So if everybody followed Coinbase, that means most people would be right. And I highly doubt that everybody on Coinbase is right. It's just like looking at the sentiment indicator on TradingView. If you follow that thing, man, if that's the only strategy, come on, man. That's a bit poor. Yeah, Coinbase sucks. I use Binance myself. That's just what I like to use. All right. I like Coinbase because everything seems very logical. Coinbase seems like a Mario game, right? Sometimes you try to do something and it doesn't work. And it's like you just got to kick the shit out of it for it to work. And then if you want to log a ticket, you got to wait about 2 months before you get a response. So shit support, really bad business model. I'd rather use PayPal, and I can't stand PayPal. PayPal is a piece of shit, right? So that goes to show you how much I don't like Coinbase. Yeah, like even if you buy a little bit before 27 cents, to me, it's not about, to me, it's about being right on the waves, because that's obviously that's what RES wave is about. So if we don't see a new low, I've failed. I'm a failure. My analysis has been completely wrong the whole time. And yeah, I will just admit I was wrong the whole time. So we have to see a new low in order for wave 5 to complete wave 5 of wave C. So to me, it's like just playing the patience game like we have been since the top of B wave up here in brackets. This one here, right? Just being patient, waiting, just waiting a little bit more. Come on, you know, if you follow Aria's wave, then you understand what I'm talking about. If you don't, that's fine. If you remember, you're learning, and mind you, these type of color coding on the waves, they're mainly geared towards the members. So I have to make that clear first before you wonder, why do I color code A waves? A is green, B is orange, C is red, D is blue. Actually, that E is wrong. The E is meant to be a purple. So I'll fix that right up right now. So yeah, every E is always a purple. Yeah, so this is a D wave here. So this D wave, technically that should be the same size as, what was this size? Actually, all these should be bigger. Let's just make all these C, all these 20. Because you've got to think about degrees of trend, right? Every wave has a degree of trend. So the waves in between, they are smaller than the waves that we're talking about that are actually the main waves. Okay, so I have to correct that bit there. That was wrong. So basically, we've completed wave 4. And now to get confirmation of that, we need to see a break of this low right here. So right now we're in this little area where, well, I decided to make a live stream, and that's the whole point of the live stream, because we want to try and see what happens over the next however minutes we do this, right? So 1 second, please. Oh, what's going on here? All right. So questions. I don't care about Flare Network. I don't care about anything except XLM price. Okay. If I was to look at the Flare Network, I'd have to look at individual chart of Flare Network. Okay. We're not talking about anything apart from XLM here. If you want to bring up any other coin, there's a time and a place. Learn Arias Wave, figure it out yourself. I ain't got the time. Yeah, so you can make your own assumptions based on whatever fundamental data you want, but this is purely wave driven, meaning it's all psychology based, and we're in a bear market rally. So this is just a minor dip in a bear market rally, okay? And because the uptrend is strong still for XLM, that's why we're having a hard time making a low. Because if we were really bearish in XLM, this thing would have gone straight down, and you wouldn't even have a chance to short it. So the people who are trying to short this now, they've had plenty of opportunity to do it, but do they have the patience to wait out? And if they do, they're going to get wrecked. So 160, like I keep saying this. I have to explain this every time. That was not clickbait, by the way. That depends on a couple of things, right? So let's look at the big picture for a second, right? We're looking at a zigzag, right? Wave D. So there's wave A. Okay, wave A. How much percentage gain did wave A create? 15,000%. Okay, so now we have to wait for wave B to end before we can measure the same distance as wave A. It could be roughly the same percentage, but it's about the length. So right now we haven't even seen wave C complete yet, right? So we need to see C complete, D will break the highs, E will retest the highs, but it depends on how low E goes. If it retests a high and it jumps, and then it confirms it by breaking the start of wave E, then $160 is still my target. But if E wave goes that tiny bit lower for whatever reason, then the target might be a little bit lower. Probably not much, but in this particular market, I can see a lot of strength. Even if you want to look at it at the cup and handle pattern that is forming, that one's going to be a big, that one's going to give a big clue very soon, I reckon. But we haven't seen D wave start yet, so we can't assume anything yet. That's a possibility, yes, based on past knowledge and experience using RS wave. All right, and that's basically like a standard zigzag. It's more of an expanded zigzag. It's not necessarily a standard zigzag, because a standard zigzag would have been, the B wave would have ended down here. All right. And then you'd only get the same distance of A, which would be roughly almost where we are now. So you'd basically be like almost topped out, and there'd be no point to this whole thing. But because RS wave gives you a different kind of approach to understanding what each wave means, it allows you to understand that there are other waves forming before we finish the B wave, right? And that's when you measure the C wave. So that's basically how I get that target. And that's an assumption right now. Okay, so it's okay for you to try and quote me on it, but I have an explanation as to why. But we have to see that yet. It hasn't happened yet. We haven't even seen C wave bottom yet. Come on. Let's take it one step at a time, please. All right. Let's see what happens. Okay. Let's see wave 5 complete. So far, this is looking like potentially wave 1 and a zigzag. So obviously we're encountering some resistance here. We have to see whether or not we break the lows in order to continue down to the lows to complete wave 5. James, that's a hard question to answer. Depends. Depends on how quickly we finish this C wave and whether or not we break the all-time highs. And then we have a D wave within a D wave, and how large will that D wave be, and how fast will the B wave in that D wave be, and then when will the E wave end? As soon as we get wave B, we can go parabolic on this thing. So I can't tell you the future. I can only tell you the wave that's coming next. Yeah, so I mean, some people have been watching my videos and they understand that obviously I track the waves pretty well. You could buy at 3 cents, but then what happens if you sell too early? Or what happens if you don't sell when you're supposed to, and then you lose everything? I mean, being lucky is one thing, but that can lead to a lot of regret later down the line when you're one of those people who tell those stories that, oh, I made millions of dollars in cryptos, but then I lost it all, and now I'm trading my super because I got no money left. So I suppose we're trying to build a base for people who are starting off with minimal risk understanding that there is a way to read the waves, getting involved in that, and then executing the plan, not trying to come up with some fancy numbers just because they heard it on Bloomberg or some magic poop cannon guy said that we're going parabolic and Bitcoin's going to 5 million and all that kind of crap, right? At the moment, Bitcoin is in a downtrend. And I believe that downtrend is going to cause altcoins to finally top out because we're in a bear market rally. This is by no means a bull market. There is the great reset coming soon, right? And it'll crash everything. The US dollar is going to pump, right? And it's going to complete a zigzag since 2008. And then after that's complete, we're going to see a huge bull run in everything. So if you haven't seen the bullish series, I suggest you watch that on my website, reswave.com. There's a tab called the bullish series where I pull apart every market in detail and I explain what we can expect. And you just got to use your logic and build the picture to try and understand what I'm talking about, because yeah, there's so much more to this than just like answering a couple of questions online. Vigilant crypto average price for new all-time high. I don't know what you mean by that. That's just the all-time high. Yeah, if you dollar cost average, I mean you're just playing it. Uh, you're being conservative, I suppose. You're welcome, secure crypto. BTC 1 million by 2030 is not. It's not something that cannot happen. It's actually what happens before that starts that's going to shake a lot of people out of the markets. So the same people who own cryptos now probably won't own it by the time it gets to a million, at least a large percentage of them, because a lot of them will be shaken out and there's going to be a lot of other factors going on in the economy that will probably lead to them having to sell for various reasons, like survival. Yeah, so after wave, here we go again, exit here. So after wave E, wave 5 comes and ends the 5-wave move down. Correct. Nine. The problem is that not every single chart has its own pattern, right? Not all the charts look the same. So each one of them has its own destiny to fulfill based on the pattern that it's currently in. If you look at my bullish series, you'll understand more about how I look at each individual pattern. I offer a program where I teach that. Um, yeah, it's just way too difficult to explain it, but XRP is in a different, it's XRP has already completed its D wave, right? It's on a grind down to the end of the correction and it's going to go very slowly. XLM has still got a long way to go before it ends its D wave. So that's why I look at XLM. That's why I choose to follow it, because I know that people can make money off this coin as long as they get out at the right time. So the only way I can prove that to you is by showing you consistently how I can track the waves and it's accurate. There's no other way to prove that to people. Hey, you're welcome. Exit here, you're welcome. till 2030. Come on, man. How far ahead do you want to travel? Do you want a time warp or something? Are you looking for a wormhole? Maybe it might be hackable. Maybe Bitcoin might be just like nothing compared to the rest of the coins. Like we can't talk about that here. Oh, okay. When people start talking about super cycles, I lose my shit. Totally lose my shit. What the hell kind of super cycle? You mean, are we in the beginning of a super cycle? Because the super cycle means that it has a beginning, and we're no. What do you mean by that? Like, if you're trying to say, is this the beginning of a super cycle? Well, okay, possibly yes, but we haven't even seen wave two yet. So the super cycle is unfolding in a 1-2 pattern, and we've seen wave one happen early on before 2017, and since then we've been in a wave two, right? For example, Bitcoin topped out wave one in 2017, and it's halfway through its correction to wave two. So if you're talking about Bitcoin in terms of super cycle, well, absolutely. That's the beginning of a massive super cycle, but we're nowhere near the end of that correction. So yeah, super cycle's something that you can talk about once the correction is over. But at the moment, we're nowhere near that. So yeah, I reckon also that the Dow Jones, if you look at the bullish series, the Dow Jones is actually gearing up for a massive, massive, massive bull run. But there's going to be the great reset first, which is going to cause GFC 2.0 once we reach 40,000 on the Dow. And even Martin Armstrong predicts this. And if you don't know who Martin Armstrong is, watch the documentary The Forecaster. I really highly recommend it. Yeah, I'd start with him first. There are a few other people who are good, but there are some people who understand the fundamentals of why things are happening the way they are. And Milton Friedman's another good one because he understands, or he understood, rest in peace, Milton Friedman. He understood money and inflation back in the 80s and 70s and 80s, and how basically they're printing way too much money, so everything's going up in value, right? So because they're printing money to infinity, this is only just getting started, right? So it depends on when you get in and out and then back in. That's the trick to how to actually take advantage of the system that they have in place, because the system they have in place is designed for the wealthy to get wealthier and the poorer to, well, basically eliminate the middle class. So wave D's done. Oh, you mean the larger D wave? Well, 160 so far, I can't tell you for sure. I already explained that, by the way. Yeah, 2030. I mean, come on, man. I don't even know if we're getting out of lockdown this week or if it's going to be another week. Nah, I don't think we're going to fall any lower. You can already see there's weakness. This wave five is like struggling to make a new low. So if this was like a wave three or something, this thing would have gone down. You wouldn't even be able to understand the waves. They'd be too sharp. 99% of coins will be outlawed. Well, it depends. I agree with most of that, but we're looking at coins here, which, like, if you look at Jed McCaleb, he's connected to the elites, and XRP, he was involved with XRP and XLM. I really highly doubt they're going to get rid of XLM and XRP, which is why I focus on them. A lot of other stuff might still be around, but yeah, 99% of them will basically be just garbage. They'll probably just have a lot of regulation that will basically just make them correct for a long time or even collapse. Time will tell. I don't know. But the rest of the year, I reckon we're going to see all this stuff happen by the rest of the year, by the end of the year. I reckon we're going to see XLM hit its final high by the end of the year. You know, 2022, 2021, they're all significant. Like the end of years, like new years always mark significant turning points in markets, right? Even sometimes even monthly, end of the month does. So to me, I can see that we're on track for a 2022 great reset. Well, that's right. Money will go to the legit coins. E. coli, great. Carney reset. Well, have a look on if you don't know what the Great Reset is, have a look on the World Economic Forum, and there's this great big plan for the Great Reset, which will basically turn us into a communist country, a communist world, one world government, one to rule them all. And I don't know if that's true or not, but I can see that there's definitely something on the horizon that will at least abolish paper money or plastic money, depending when you live. Everything will go digital. They'll be able to track you. Everything will be trackable. So I suppose in a way, like the way I see Bitcoin, the Bitcoiners originally had the intention of, being against the system, but eventually with the regulation, you either going to have to you have to abide by the rules, or you're going to be thrown out, right? And you can't beat the system, right? How can you beat the system? That's just ridiculous. I mean, if you live in some kind of fairy tale world and so far it's worked out for you, past performance is not indicative of future performance, right? It's just you can't do the same thing for 5 years and expect it to work for another 5 years. It's just not realistic. Well, Kanye, that's why I have a program, right? That's why I teach this stuff. reswave.com, right? That's why the only way I can prove my legitimacy of what I do is through my videos. So you can either choose to go to my website, look at the bullish series. They're all publicly posted videos, trading view videos. You can't delete trading view videos. So they're there forever. You can't delete them. You can't scam the system basically, which is why I use it. I'm only using YouTube now because I used to be able to post my trading view videos to YouTube, but for some reason it hasn't been working lately. So therefore I just do a bit of both until I sort that problem out. But I think I think it was destined for me to actually start showing myself more. so people can see who I actually am rather than just hearing a voice on TradingView. And since then, my popularity has grown. I've had more members. People can relate to me. We have Zoom meetings with members, and like I do actually advertise one Zoom session, but I do several Zoom sessions with people. Like I'm a personable guy, like I want people to learn, but there are certain members that they buy the program and they don't bother. It's really sad, but at the same time, it's kind of like everybody has to learn at their own pace. So I can't judge people based on that. So therefore, I'm just going to be really patient with them. My background is in IT, so therefore I understand once you learn something complicated, you have to make it simplified, and that's why I created Wave, because trying to simplify the markets is probably one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. And during that time, I've had a lot of personal struggles and issues, family problems, and this and that, pandemics, and all sorts of stuff going on. But at the same time, I managed to do it, and that's because I have that will, that determination, that focus. Yeah, yeah, I agree with it. What everybody's saying here. So, Carney, go to my website if you want to learn. That's all I can say to you. I don't accept PayPal because I can't stand this shit. Today, I heard on the news that PayPal is going to replace credit cards. Hell no. I ain't using PayPal for credit card for transactions. I'd rather use crypto or cash. You take away my cash, you can't take away my credit card, my debit card. I'm not using PayPal. That's garbage, right? How about we try to use like XLM and XRP, that's some real currency there, you know? I mean, what the hell is wrong with people? PayPal is just like the middleman. Isn't that what we're trying to get rid of? Aren't we trying to get rid of the middleman here? Right? PayPal takes a fee, right? You convert. If I send you XLM from me to you right now, the fee is like it's basically nothing, right? And yet here we are talking on the news, and this is the mainstream media, right? Just basically trying to I don't know what they're trying to do, but it's not good. That's all I can say. XRP, I'm not going to talk about it because I believe it's going into a bear market, but I will buy it when it reaches its target, which is probably going to be around 0.07 cents. That's all I'm saying right now. I need more evidence to substantiate my claims, and I haven't seen that yet. But I do believe that XRP will definitely be huge in the future, and I'm going to buy it when it's dirt cheap, when nobody wants it. When they've all given up on XRP, I'm going to buy it. Right now, there's way too many people who are pumping XRP, especially the XRP army. I've watched a lot of their videos, and you know they almost had me convinced. But then I did my research and used the waves properly, and I saw that it's basically a pump and dump scheme at the moment because we're in a bear market rally. But XLM is one of those coins which is not part of that pump and dump scheme. It's mainly just going through its motions. There's a lot of real interest in XLM. A lot of people are using XLM to actually make things better for the world. Um, I'm sure you've heard of the examples. I don't want to go through them. IBM, Acon, there's quite a few stories. There's way more than I could mention here. Yeah, PayPal, Elon Musk. I mean, go figure, right? The whole thing's a scam. Mainstream media is a scam. I don't trust anyone on the mainstream media. I think they're all full of shit. I think the only thing you can trust is the waves, because they actually produce real results. As you've seen, if you've been watching my videos, they actually do produce results. Um, until I'm proven wrong, especially because now I'm focusing exclusively on XLM. I don't want to, because I'm really busy, right? I'm a family man. My background is in IT. I run a business, RS Wave. I have members. I also mentor people. I really don't have time to go through every coin every day and provide the sort of updates that I do on XLM. XLM is my coin of choice. I chose it for a reason. I believe it has the most potential at the moment. But that might change once we see this move up and then we see the crash that's coming. I may choose a handful of different coins based on my knowledge at that time on the waves, right? So just because I'm just looking at XLM now, it doesn't mean that that's going to be my only focus forever. It's just I want to prove that what I'm doing is actually accurate. So that takes a lot of effort. Okay. So for me to actually get you to buy this at 27 cents and then you go to all-time highs and then you go to $160, blah, blah, blah. I think that's enough credibility shown there. And then we can have enough credibility to expand the operations to then, move forward into bigger and better things and, whatever it is. Yeah, BTC is the answer to basically nothing. It was just the first guy. It's like the tortoise and the hare, right? Okay, so the hare was in front the whole time, but then he got clumsy, and then the tortoise won the race. I mean, it's the oldest story in history. Like this is what I'm seeing right now in slow motion. So to me, it's like, yeah, Bitcoin this, Bitcoin that. Eventually, they'll change the system so everything's not priced for Bitcoin, right? They're going to come up with new ways, and it's actually not going to even. It's not even going to change the waves. It's just going to change the dynamic of how people perceive the coins, right? Because right now it's all just like a Ponzi scheme almost, right? And and that's why I believe regulators are coming in because they're going to start to change things a bit more, and that's when things will get serious. And by the time that happens, that's going to be good for a lot of coins because that means a lot of technology will actually be put to use, rather than just being just another coin. XLM in DeFi, yeah, I'm not going to get into DeFi here. That's a very good subject that needs proper attention. We're running out of time here with this one. Yeah, Melbourne, where it's 10:50 p.m. here, and my kids are running wild downstairs. So very soon I'm gonna have to pack up. XRP is basically it's like you had a great idea, but the execution wasn't the best. but it doesn't mean that it won't change the world. I just think it's too early to tell, and I don't think it's going to go up right now. I think that there's going to be a time and a place where banks and institutions will fail, right? And they're going to be looking for that technology that can replace the old piece of shit system that we have in place, and then that's when these coins will shine. Everything up until that point will just be speculation and hearsay, and I suppose that's what we track. We track everything. The waves track everything, but the waves are telling me now that XRP, stay away from it until that time comes. Well, when the Dow Jones, sorry, I'm answering the question about when do I expect to see a crash. When the Dow Jones hits 40,000, I might consider looking at what's going on everywhere, right? But we know we haven't seen that yet. And the Dow Jones tends to top after Bitcoin, right? Especially if you know what the waves are. Like, even though it might appear like, if you look at like the Dow Jones and Bitcoin chart, it might appear as though Bitcoin topped at the same time as the Dow Jones. Well, technically, the Dow Jones hadn't topped yet. So I do believe Bitcoin tops before the Dow Jones. And I do think that Bitcoin has topped in the medium term. And I think that's going to be part of why we're going to see a pump in altcoins, certain altcoins, not all of them. And if you go back in history and look, even if you look at the basic chart of XLM and BTC, you'll notice that XLM topped out months after Bitcoin did. And don't use that as a guide, because anything can happen. And it's all about the waves. Anything can change. So that's why I just follow the waves. Don't listen to the news. My program teaches all this stuff anyway. So it's all about like where's your focus? What do you focus on? What do you use to make calls on the market? How do you make decisions? You've got to do the internal investigation, figure out the 4 stages of competence, find out what you don't know, take it from there. Yeah, I still believe we're in a 5-wave move down. This is wave 5 of wave C. I think we've already established that. I'm going to provide updates, especially tomorrow. At the moment, the markets have slowed down a bit, so I can't make this last forever. So well, that's the thing, Luca. The thing about market cap is that it's all about circulation. That's exactly right. So market cap is a fallacy. Go to my website. Big green link on my website talks about the fallacy of market cap. It's not about market cap, doesn't mean anything. It's basically circulation. That's why I'm talking about we're in a bear market. It's all about speculation. Once the shit hits the fan with the financial, like with the economy and the banks and the bailouts and all that sort of stuff, they're going to replace the system. So that's when circulation will start to really take off. So there's going to be a massive boost in inflation, which will drive up a lot of prices of a lot of different things, a lot of different assets. And that's just basic, just Milton Friedman. Just watch Milton Friedman video on money inflation. You understand what I'm saying? But it's not hard to see how that's happened over the last few years anyway. So yeah, so vigilant crypto XLM will have one more bottom here before we head towards the highs. But let's take it one step at a time. All right, guys, look, it's been great talking with you. You know where I'm at with this stuff. You know what my goal is. We need to see a new low. Okay, we haven't seen a break of that E wave yet, so we can't say that we're not moving down from here. This is going to take some time, maybe a few hours, maybe 10, 14 hours. At the max, 24 hours. And then we'll make a bottom. Buy at 27 cents or roughly around there, or scale in. Don't take my word for it. Use your own judgment. Don't use my. If you don't know Arias Wave, try to compare my notes with yours. Right, you should never follow someone blindly unless you've actually learned exactly what they're doing and how it works. I want you to be safe with that because I don't want to lead anyone astray. And yeah, so let's just wait for that 27 cents, hey? And then we'll take it from there. We'll continue this conversation and then we'll talk about what's coming next. So hopefully you've enjoyed this stream, and I'll catch you next time.